Oi oi, what's on guys? Cuz Crypto here with another video. Today just gonna have a good look at the markets, see what's going on and give you kind of the news latest in the cryptocurrency space. Guys, as we can see, we're starting to see a bit of price action in the positive in sort of side of things, in the upwards trajectory. Quite the market cap of the cryptocurrency space at the minute is at 3.83 trillion, and we're up 3% on the daily. So that is fantastic to see. We're seeing a bit of liquidity come back into the cryptocurrency space. Fear and greed again, 52 yesterday, now at 54. So still quite neutral. And Bitcoin season, guys, not an altcoin season, as altcoin season's well off, because we should get rid of 50 before we start seeing an altcoin season. So we at the minute can see Bitcoin is still outperforming altcoins, and it's more at the of a Bitcoin season still. And guys, as we can see here, over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin up to 116,500 near enough, and up 2% on the daily. Ethereum up 7%, XRP 4%. So we're starting to see a lot of greens over the daily. On the weekly, some are still slightly in the red, but on the daily we're getting positive price action again. So we had a bit of a sell-off with obviously tariff news, possibly as well because the M2 money supply where it was. There's multiple things and kind of theses out there where people are trying to gauge what direction the market's going in and what's causing it. But again, I mean, we'll have a look at that in a minute on the Bitcoin chart and just look at the M2 money supply and and what has been going on the last kind of week. As you can see, guys, Sui's up nearly 10% on the daily. But yes, positive for the daily, and the weekly we're starting to see some get into the positive now again as well. So guys, as we can see here, so what I want to show you is what's going on today. So positives in the UK here. Bank of England cuts interest rates by 25 basis points to 4%. So as you can see here, this is the Bank of England over the last 20 years, its interest rates. So they're up to about 5.75% back in 2007. And then we had that big crash. And then all of a sudden rates were down to 0.5% for a good 7 years. All the way down to even 0.1%. So you're literally borrowing money near enough for free. And buying a house, getting a loan, refinancing a car or anything like that would have been a lot cheaper 4 years ago than it would today at 5.25% it was, and now we're down to 4% today. So currently interest rates are coming back down, and currently where are we to? So target for inflation in the UK is at 2%. We're currently at 3.6%, and again changed today at 4%. So the next one is due in just over a month's time. So we will see. Yes, so positives in the UK there, and more bullish news around cryptocurrency is Trump to sign an executive order allowing cryptocurrencies in the 401k retirement plans. So with this, I mean, it's your retirement money in the US, but it's basically kind of putting forward that if you're just holding it and don't have to access it right away, and you're looking for 20, 30 years time because it's your retirement, Trump's putting forward this plan of like cryptocurrencies being involved with this because of the gains people are getting from it. And obviously as things like this come in and other things as well, like around the Clarity Act being signed eventually, and obviously the Genius Act has been signed, things like this are allowing cryptocurrencies to become more kind of mainstream and more adopted within mainstream society. Because at the minute, I will have a chat with someone about cryptocurrency and they still think it's a Ponzi scheme. They go, oh yeah, my mate put £10,000 in and it went to £400. It's because they bought the highs. Every time someone says that to me, I'm like, yeah, they probably bought the highs. And also, what were they buying if it went from £10,000 to £400? They basically lost like 95% of their value. So but again, this sort of stuff here is reiterating that crypto is here to stay and its utility is absolutely there, so positive things. Obviously, as we've seen, guys, Bitcoin has broke 116,000, very bullish. We'll check the charts in a minute on that. And again, reciprocal tariffs from midnight, billions will start flowing into the US. That's what Trump is saying. So obviously around the tariffs, where we're to here. So around the tariffs, it was where are we to here? So obviously, right here, so the White House placed an extra additional, so this is a couple of days now, but additional 25% on India, bringing its total tariff up to 50% in relation to its country's purchase of oil from Russia. So this is, again, basically Trump saying, doing deals with Russia, we're not having it, and, well, if you don't do business with the US, you've got to abide by our rules, basically, and hasn't stood for it, and pumped them with a 50% tariff. The India to the US are the 7th largest importers for the US. Out of again, India is the 4th largest in the world, probably economy, but with it's the 7th largest to the US in doing business. And then obviously as well, other countries, so obviously India's facing the 50%, Brazil also faced the 50%, but this is apparently due to the response of the country's arrest of former President Jair I can't even say his name, Bolsonaro, can never say it, honestly my dyslexia won't allow me, and also 35% tariffs on Canada and 25% tariffs on Mexico. So this is why we've seen a bit of a price dip, obviously with tariff news on like the 1st and 2nd and around 3rd of August. But again, prices have pumped back a little bit. And other things we just wanted to watch out for, guys, here is where are we to here? So Fed note references US Bitcoin reserve idea. So a note by Colin Weiss mentions funding a US Bitcoin reserve using gold re-evaluation gains. So using probably gold, kind of, how much gold have they got in Fort Knox? I'm not fully sure. I know in the UK there's some references of 100 billion to 200 billion pounds worth of gold in the Bank of England. So they've kept that all right as our gold reserves. I'm not sure how much the US has, but they might be looking at some of their gold, a certain percentage possibly, and then putting it into Bitcoin. Again, this is just from this, again, not being implemented or anything like that. It's just a kind of passing comment at the minute. And then today, the SEC is expected to deliberate Ripple's decision to withdraw its appeal August 7th. So today is the day. Will this be the fight? Honestly, people go, yep, this is my final post around the Ripple case and the SEC case, and they said that like 10 times in the last like 6-7 months. I'm like, it's here now, hopefully, and we see the end of it, because Ripple's been right through it since 2020. It's been absolutely insane. And as I mentioned about the 401ks, very bullish news. And what I want to look at here is I want to just show you guys with Bitcoin, guys, only 450 Bitcoin is being mined every day. So that's 3,150 Bitcoin every week. Okay, so 450 a day, but you've got people like MicroStrategy like Michael Saylor acquiring, what did they do, $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin about 3 days ago. That is an astronomical amount of Bitcoin. That's more than 450 a day. So again, all these companies, institutions are soaking up Bitcoin, and the supply shock is going to be really kind of apparent and really visible, I reckon, kind of just very soon. Again, exchanges still have Bitcoin, but the lowest levels since in a long time. And institutions are, again, they're catching on. And you go back about 2 years ago, there was nowhere near as many institutions having a Bitcoin treasury or Bitcoin reserve. Even institutions now holding Ethereum as a Bitcoin reserve, as a treasury as well. So people and institutions with the money are getting involved, and this is going to pump the price up. We don't know how much, but it's pumping the price up. And again, another bit of news here, very, very bullish. So Chainlink launches Chainlink Reserve funded with Link. So Chainlink getting involved as well. Again, the Chainlink wave is coming, guys. I hold some Chainlink. Think it's a very good project. And again, look, again, shows SharpLink raised $200 million at $19.50 to stack and stake Ethereum. So SharpLink's like the MicroStrategy and the Meta Planet of Bitcoin but for Ethereum. So yeah, it's all happening, guys. So go into charts. Let's have a look. So currently Bitcoin is at 116,700. We're kind of wicking up to that level. Do we start to see a push on? Because look, this could be here. What we could be seeing is a double bottom. And do we push on from here? Possibly. We've got a level of resistance around the 16. Again, this is on the 4 hourly candles, so it's not definite, but we have hit past this level of resistance, and when we start pushing back up to 18,800, again, levels of resistance up here as well. As you can see, quite a few touch points. But with Bitcoin, we're well above the 50 and 200-day EM moving averages, and currently with the RSI, Bitcoin it's not oversold. Again, it's up to 62, so we're not in oversold territory at the minute, so it could still come up a little bit more. But absolutely, price action is moving. So in the last kind of 4 hours or so, let's go with 8 hours. So from that low up to here, Bitcoin is up nearly up to point to point 2%. So Bitcoin looking very strong at the minute. Again, up 1.3 on the daily, but Ethereum as well looking very strong. Again, holding really well on the last kind of, what we're up, so 5.5%, nearly 6%. So again, like I said, guys, Bitcoin, what happens now? Because obviously Bitcoin's going up nearly 2%, let's say, from wick to wick. By wick, I mean, remember, guys, that little thing here. So that's the wick of the candle. The actual body is the actual coloured body. So that's the kind of where it opens and where it closes. Or on a red candle, that's where it opens, that's where it closes. On a green candle, that's where it opens, that's where it closes. Okay, the wicks are just the movements outside of the open and close in the day. But yeah, Bitcoin 2%, Ethereum nearly 6%. What's Bitcoin dominance going to be doing? Coming down, and that's what we want. So remember, guys, the Bitcoin dominance comes downwards if the market is performing well, and altcoins or other coins like your Ethereum, your XRP, your Solana, other coins other than Bitcoin are performing really well. And then, guys, as well, just wanted to have a good look here. Let's go on to the daily and have a look here. So looking on the daily here, let's get the M2 shift up. So I've done 83 days, but again, guys, we're seeing a bit of a pattern, and again, we're going to start to see some price action if, again, with a standard deviation, I'd say, of like a week, so 7 days, and by standard deviation, so plus or minus 7 days. It's hard to really be specific on it. But yeah, the global M2 at the minute, we've seen a bit of a drop off, which again, this is this sell off. This is what Rob Powell found. He found this kind of correlation. We're seeing a bit more of a dip here, and then are we starting to see some positive price action back into like positive movements up to probably some all-time highs, and then all-time highs could be going around to September. This is from what the M2 again, September 22nd could be plus or minus 5 days, so it could be 5 days. So 22nd, it could be the 17th or the 15th. Let's say a week, or it could be plus or minus another five this side, so it could be 27th to the 29th. We don't know, again, what Bitcoin's exactly going to do, but it does seem to be following the M2 global money supply quite a bit. And if we know anything about the M2 global money supply, where is it to? I literally just had it up earlier. Here we are. So, guys, so in the blue here, this blue one, this is the global M2 money supply. So what the global M2 money supply is the amount of money available in the whole world. So that could be in banks, on chain, anything like that. So any bit of capital that is available. So again, the global M2 is in blue, and then Bitcoin's price is in black. Guys, this is going back to 2015. So if you can follow it, so as Bitcoin moves up, as the global goes up, Bitcoin kind of follows the trajectory. So the global, this is blue one, and as it, again here it didn't really follow it much, but as we go from about here, come up, and again it came up a bit more. Bitcoin came down in price, but from here it's been very, very kind. So since 2022, Bitcoin has followed it near enough to a T, not exactly perfectly, it doesn't follow it perfectly, but this is what Raoul Pal says, because he studies charts constantly. And guys, global M2 hit all-time highs around September 2024 at 107 trillion, was it? Yeah, 107.5 trillion. And guys, now currently at 106.4 trillion. And if we know anything about the M2, the US's M2 at the minute is at all-time highs. So if we get US M2 money supply up, so just having a look here, just always good to have a look. So the US M2 currently at, well, yeah, look, we were up 21.6 trillion back in February. What are we up to now? 22 trillion. So the current M2 US, so that's 22 trillion. Remember, the global is 106 trillion. All right, so the M2 of the US is now at 22 trillion. This is at all-time highs. You guys, you go back to, let's say, 40 years ago, it was at 1.5 trillion. Now, I mean, even if you go back to 2016, it was half. Well, 2014, 2015, so it was half. All right, so it's showing how much they're printing money and how much money is now available in the system. Well, what does that mean for assets that don't have an increase in circulation? So money circulation is increasing here. So there's more money in the system, a lot more money in our society, or in the US. Same with the global, all constantly going up to the right. So what about Bitcoin or things like that? Well, the supply of money goes up. Bitcoin, again, mined, yes, you're mining, a 450 Bitcoin a day now, which is very, very little. But again, in total, when eventually it's all mined, around the year 2140, your actual supply of Bitcoins are stopped at 21 million. So the only thing that can go up is not the supply, but is the amount it is valued at. And obviously, people with more money, and there's more money in the system and more money floating around, well, they're going to put it into these kind of risk-on assets when more money is available to put into them. That's what we're here for. So that's where those increases can really happen. So when the global and the US M2 all goes up, again, not good for debt and not good for the currency either, because obviously if there's more money available, and what happens to the actual currency itself, well, it actually goes down in value. So let's say, for example, here, right here is 22 trillion. Just over 10 years ago, it was at 11. Let's say 11. So 12 years ago, it was at 11 trillion. Right, so 11 trillion here. So basically, it's double the amount of supply now, or amount in supply currently in the US. What's that going to do for the US dollar? Well, it's probably gone down a lot in price. And what you could get back in 2014, let's say you had £10,000, that might now be worth £6,000, for example, $7,000. Sorry. So these are things to think about. The money, or the fiat money you work for, so the US dollar, the UK pound, whatever you work for, constantly, because this money supply is going up and the amount of money available goes up and the amount of circulation goes up, the value of it goes down. So do wages match it? Do, all these things? No, they don't. So what would you want to do with certain, like, again, if you save your money, brilliant, fantastic, you're saving your money, you're smarter than most, because a lot of people are in a lot of debt. I can vouch for that. That's why I got into cryptocurrency in the first place. But if you could allow your money to work for you, what would you put it in? Well, when it's risk off, you put it into more stationary assets. A lot of institutions and companies put their money into bonds, gold, silver, when the risk isn't on as much, so that like your bitcoins aren't flying up in price, stocks are not flying up in price, the S&P's not flying up either. When the risk is on a bit more, people go into stocks, and then when the risk is really on, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, people want to go in. And when the risk is on is usually when the money supply goes through the roof. Look, 2021 was a bull run, wasn't it? And look at that, we went from, let's say, 15 trillion to 20 trillion. Went up 5 trillion in a year and a half. So there we go. So guys, sorry about the tangent there, but just what I love to talk about. But yeah, Bitcoin following the money supply, as we can see slightly, but again, very close by. Okay, so back to AERO. So again, guys, looking at XRP as well. So XRP currently we're on a daily now, aren't we? So each candle is a day, not 4 hours like we were before. Looking very good, holding above the $3 range. The next level kind of we're going to be trying to fight past would be the 320, 330, but we're going to get back to the 340 and above, and then eventually use this as support. Currently, I mean, if we on the day close above, this is the first candle obviously since the sell-off a couple of days ago, which would be going if it holds above $3, the daily close would be above $3, which is what we want for XRP. We did a wick down to 275, again a great buying opportunity. I didn't manage to buy in because I had no capital until about here. So there's it. Yeah, so I managed to buy some XRP at around 296. So I'm up again. Brilliant. I'm happy with that. And again, guys, with Ethereum, look at that, starting to push on again. We passed that 3,800 range. That's what we want. Once we pass 3,800, pushing up to 4,000. Do we break through? There could be times, guys, where with Ethereum we come up, bounce off, come back down, bounce off, come back down, even further possibly or less, bounce off, and then come boo and come through. Once that breaks, Ethereum is going to rocket. Don't know don't know how long this will take, but it's just to keep an eye on. So if you're doing leverage or anything like that, or if you're looking to make some money and you're thinking, all right, from where we are now to there, that's about 4.5%. That's what it is to $4,000. 4.5%, but we went up 4.5% in a day today already, so that's not bad going. So Ethereum is looking strong, but if you say put £10,000 in, got 4%, you're at £400, and you're thinking, oh, so I'm just gonna keep going. Just be prepared for a kind of, it might come up a bit and just come back down. So just be aware of that with Ethereum. But when it does break, again, I don't know. No one bloody knows. It will go, and it will be very strong. Solana. So Solana, realistically, I mean, over the last couple of days, what we're up. So let's go from these lows here. Good, look at that. Nearly wick to wick, 10%, but body where we are right now, 8.5%. So Solana up 8.5% over since the last dip. Or again, whether this will be the last dip, we don't know. It could come back down again, absolutely. And possibly on the daily, could we make a W here and then we move? Possibly. But holding above the 160, which is a positive, we did close on the second on that dip below 160, but the next day straight back up and closed above the 160. So very, very strong for Solana. And then, guys, as well, looking at SUI here. So SUI, look, it's moving on quite a bit. We're seeing again from where price went up to today around just again up to that $3.80 range. Couldn't really break it at the minute, but again, we could absolutely test that again today. But again, guys, we're up from here, like to wick, 13.5%, right now 11.5%. So SUI doing very good. But yeah, and then, guys, let's look at Bitcoin liquidations quickly, just have a good look see. So on the daily, people are more bullish right now. On the day, this is so nearly 3 billion. So the amount of people thinking the price is going to go up, they're going to go long. Do you remember what, guys, long means again? Long just means leverage, and people are going long on it, meaning they're looking for the price to go up. So they might have, let's say Bitcoin, when it dipped down to 100 and let's say 13,000, even on the day, so it was, let's say 115, they probably put in a couple leverages, and they are up right now. Obviously, if the price goes down and they go to a certain leverage point where, let's say if it's a 50x leverage on Bitcoin and the liquidation price is, let's say 110, let's say the price does get hit there, they lose all their money. Okay, if you hold spot bags, remember what spot means? It means you own the cryptocurrency, and no matter how far it goes down, it could go to zero, for example. Not saying it will, you never know though, you never know. And you hold that. So it doesn't matter, as long as it comes back up to this price, you can get back even, and then it goes up, well, you're at 5-10%, great, fantastic. So, but people are more bullish again because the price and the confirmation is there. We've got a green candle today, haven't we? So people are more bullish. They go, oh, that's the confirmation I needed, I'm buying in. People never buy in on the fear, they buy in on the confirmation and the bias, especially on leverage. So but where are we at on the monthly? So, guys, look at that. Not just shy of 10 billion on longs. And guys, look how many shorts we have. So we can have a short squeeze here. So again, even up to $128,000 a coin for Bitcoin. Most of these leverages of the short. So people are thinking, overall last month that Bitcoin's price is still going to come down. So Bitcoin might have to make up some ground here because of these leverages. They want to take them out. So again, these are short leverages, people thinking the price is going to come down. So if the price goes up, well, then they will get liquidated as we go. So liquidations here, so at the minute, the amount of people going long thinking the price is going to go up it probably will start to increase if Bitcoin's price starts to go up, because again, they get that confirmation. All right. So like I said, longs, people thinking the price is going to go up, and there's only $10 billion worth of longs, and shorts, people thinking the price is going to come down. So that's 17.5, let's say just shy of $17.5 billion worth of shorts. So guys, like I said, so when Bitcoin's price comes up to here, let's say previous all-time highs, let's just say hypothetically it reaches that, so it will liquidate $14 billion worth of shorts. 14 and a bit billion dollars worth of shorts, meaning these people that are thinking the price is going to go down, they'll get liquidated. Okay, so be careful out there. And then guys, look at this. I mean, Google Trends, Bitcoin blue, XRP red, crypto yellow. Again, look at that. Price down, trends down. Price was up, trends were up. 13th to the 19th of July, what was going on? I'll show you again. I want to keep showing you just because it just kind of reiterates well, people will start looking. So 13th, look at that. Bitcoin's all-time high was on the 14th, it was in that week. So people will start looking at it when you get these confirmations. Guys, if you bought in here, like here we go. So again, I know I do this quite a lot, but like if you buy, let's say you bought the highs here, like this, you didn't know this was happening yet. You didn't know that this was going to happen. You're like, okay, I'm, let's say 110,000. And you come down here, you're like, oh gosh, actually, what am I doing? I put £1,000 in, I've come down 2.5%, I've lost £25, what am I doing? And then all of a sudden you get this trajectory up here, and then let's say, I don't think at the highs, but 11%, 11.5%. Currently we are up, if you were to buy there, 5.5%. Again, if you buy your spot bag stuff, spot bag all the way. Leverage, again, with my capital, when I get paid, I only put like 25 to 30 pounds worth in, just to have a bit of fun with, but all the rest of it, like let's say about 250 to 300 pound a month. Sometimes if I get paid a bit more, I'll put a bit more in, obviously what I can afford. That's what I'm here for, guys. But all across the market at the minute, sentiment is good. Bitcoin dominance coming down again, still between 61 to 62%. We want to break past this 61% of resistance and it to come down further. Then altcoin season could be on again. Still in a Bitcoin season, altcoin season. That's what we want. All right, guys, that's me today. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next one.